I ignored the small changes in my body for months. Just part of getting older, I told myself. That decision nearly cost me my life at 65. Today, I'm sharing what I wish someone had told me before it was too late. If you're over 60 or have loved ones who are, this video could literally save a life. I'll reveal 7 warning signs that most seniors dismiss but shouldn't, because catching them early can be the difference between living independently for years to come or facing serious, life-altering consequences. These aren't the obvious symptoms we've all heard about. These are the subtle changes that are easy to brush off, but could be your body's desperate attempt to warn you of something serious developing beneath the surface. Our bodies are constantly communicating with us, but as we age, we often attribute new symptoms to just getting older. This dangerous assumption leads millions of seniors to miss critical warning signs until it's too late for early intervention. After interviewing dozens of doctors and specialists who work primarily with older adults, I discovered there are specific warning signs that seniors frequently ignore, signs that medical professionals immediately recognize as potential red flags. What's troubling is that many of these symptoms seem so minor or develop so gradually that they're easy to dismiss. Yet they could indicate serious conditions like early-stage Parkinson's, heart disease, diabetes complications, or even cancer, conditions where early detection dramatically improves outcomes. I learned this lesson personally. For months, I ignored occasional dizziness when standing up. Just low blood pressure, I thought. Then one day, that dizziness led to a fall that resulted in a broken hip. And during my hospital stay, doctors discovered an underlying heart condition that had been causing those symptoms all along. The truth is, many age-related diseases and conditions can be managed effectively when caught early, but waiting until symptoms become severe often means facing irreversible damage, loss of independence, or drastically reduced quality of life. Today, I'm sharing these 7 critical warning signs not to frighten you but to empower you with the knowledge that could preserve your independence and quality of life for years to come. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which subtle changes deserve immediate medical attention versus which ones you can monitor at home. This information could save you or someone you love from unnecessary suffering or premature loss of independence. I'll also share simple questions to ask your doctor. Questions most seniors never think to ask, but that can lead to better care and earlier interventions. Make sure you stay until the end, because the last warning sign is something 82% of seniors experience, but almost never report to their doctors, yet it can be one of the earliest indicators of several serious conditions. Knowing this one sign alone could give you precious months of early intervention time that makes all the difference in your health outcomes. Warning sign number 1, unexplained weight loss or gain, especially when you haven't changed your eating habits. Margaret, my neighbor of 15 years, had always maintained her weight with remarkable consistency. At 72, she began noticing her clothes fitting more loosely, despite eating the same meals she always had. "I'm just getting older," she told me when I mentioned it. "Metabolism changes as we age." She was pleased to drop a dress size without effort. 6 months later, Margaret was diagnosed with advanced pancreatic cancer. Her doctor told her the unexplained weight loss had been the first warning sign, one that had appeared nearly 8 months before any other symptoms. Had she reported it immediately, her cancer might have been caught at a stage where treatment options were far more effective. While many of us might welcome unexplained weight loss, it can signal serious conditions like cancer, thyroid disorders, digestive diseases, or even early-stage dementia when we forget to eat regularly. Similarly, unexplained weight gain could indicate heart failure, kidney disease, or medication side effects. The key word here is unexplained. Any weight change of more than 5% of your body weight within 6 months, without changes to diet or activity, warrants a conversation with your doctor. For a 150-pound person, that's just 7 to 8 pounds. What makes this warning sign so dangerous is that it often feels positive, especially weight loss. We celebrate fitting into smaller clothes, rather than questioning why our bodies are changing. Ask yourself, have you experienced unexplained weight changes in the past year? If so, have you discussed them with your doctor or simply attributed them to getting older? Warning. Sign number 2, subtle changes in your balance, coordination, or the way you walk. I'll never forget watching Robert, my brother-in-law, at our family reunion 3 years ago. He was 68 and had always been athletic. As we walked across the lawn to the picnic area, I noticed he was taking unusually short, shuffling steps. When I mentioned it, he laughed it off. "Just being careful on this uneven ground," he said. 6 months later, Robert was diagnosed with early-stage Parkinson's disease. His neurologist explained that those small changes in his gait, what doctors call gait changes, were often the earliest sign of neurological problems, appearing years before more recognizable symptoms. Changes in how you walk, unexpected stumbles, or finding yourself reaching for furniture to steady yourself aren't just senior moments. They could indicate neurological conditions, inner ear problems, vitamin B12 deficiency, or even medication side effects, all of which can be addressed if caught early. The greatest danger here is falls. Falls are the leading cause of injury-related deaths in people over 65. 1/3 of seniors fall each year, but many don't realize their increasing risk until after that first serious fall. What makes this warning sign so insidious is how gradually it develops. The changes are often so subtle that family members who see you every day might not notice. It's often friends or relatives who see you less frequently who first spot these changes. When was the last time you paid attention to how you walk or how secure you feel while standing? Have you noticed yourself becoming more cautious, taking smaller steps, or reaching for support more often? Warning sign number 3, memory changes that begin to interfere with your daily activities. Eleanor, my dear friend of 30 years, was always known for her sharp mind and attention to detail. At 73, she began experiencing what she called senior moments, forgetting where she placed her keys or missing an occasional appointment. We all reassured her it was normal aging. When she started having trouble following her favorite recipes, ones she'd made for decades, her daughter convinced her to see a neurologist. They discovered Eleanor was experiencing mild cognitive impairment, an early stage of Alzheimer's. Because they caught it early, Eleanor began treatments and lifestyle changes that have significantly slowed her cognitive decline. Some memory changes are indeed part of normal aging. We might take longer to learn new information or occasionally misplace things, but memory problems that disrupt daily living, forgetting how to get to familiar places, struggling with familiar tasks, or repeatedly asking the same questions, these aren't normal aging and deserve medical attention. Early intervention for cognitive changes can make an enormous difference. Treatable conditions like vitamin deficiencies, medication interactions, or thyroid problems can cause memory symptoms. And even for progressive conditions like Alzheimer's, early diagnosis allows for treatments that work best when started early. The challenge with this warning sign is the stigma and fear surrounding cognitive decline. Many seniors avoid seeking help because they fear a devastating diagnosis or losing their independence. Think about your daily routines. Have you noticed tasks that were once second nature becoming more difficult? Are loved ones expressing concern about your memory more frequently than they used to? Warning sign number 4, persistent fatigue or significant changes in your energy levels. James, my walking partner for years, gradually began declining our regular walks. At 67, he explained he was just slowing down with age and needed more rest. What started as occasionally skipping our walks became James spending most days in his recliner, too exhausted for activities he once enjoyed. After months of this new normal, James finally saw his doctor after pressure from his family. Tests revealed severe anemia caused by a slow internal bleed, something completely treatable. Within weeks of treatment, James was back to our regular walks, amazed at the difference. "I had no idea how bad I felt until I started feeling better," he told me. Unusual fatigue isn't just about feeling tired. It's about a noticeable decrease in your capacity for physical or mental activity, especially activities you previously enjoyed without difficulty. This kind of fatigue can signal heart disease, anemia, sleep apnea, depression, diabetes, thyroid disorders, or medication side effects. What makes fatigue particularly dangerous is how we rationalize it. We blame age, poor sleep, or stress rather than recognizing it as a potential warning sign. Because fatigue develops gradually, we adjust our activities downward rather than investigating the cause. The result? a spiraling decline in physical activity that itself causes deconditioning and weakness, creating a vicious cycle that can lead to premature loss of independence. Think about your energy levels compared to a year ago. Have you given up activities you once enjoyed because they have become too tiring? Have you found yourself needing more rest after routine tasks? Warning sign number 5, subtle changes in your vision or hearing that affect daily functioning. At 71, Mikey, Uncle Thomas gradually stopped participating in family conversations at gatherings. He'd smile and nod, but rarely joined in. We assumed he was just becoming more introspective with age. When his wife finally convinced him to get his hearing checked, the audiologist found significant hearing loss. What shocked all of us was learning that Thomas had been experiencing hearing decline for likely 7 to 10 years before it became obvious to others. Even more concerning, his audiologist explained that untreated hearing loss is strongly linked to cognitive decline and dementia. The brain needs constant auditory stimulation to maintain certain neural pathways. Changes in sensory input, whether vision or hearing, are about more than just inconvenience. They can fundamentally alter how we interact with the world and often lead to social isolation, increased risk of accidents, and even accelerated cognitive decline. Vision changes like increased difficulty reading, seeing halos around lights or trouble distinguishing colors could indicate cataracts, glaucoma, macular degeneration, or even diabetes affecting the eyes. Hearing changes often manifest socially first, difficulty following conversations with background noise, thinking others are mumbling, or turning the TV volume higher than others prefer. These changes can indicate treatable conditions like excessive earwax buildup or more permanent hearing loss that can be effectively managed with proper interventions. When was your last vision and hearing check? Have you found yourself withdrawing from social situations because it's become difficult to follow conversations or recognize faces across the room? Warning. Sign number 6. Wounds that heal slowly or changes. In your skin's appearance, Charlotte, my mother's best friend, noticed a small cut on her foot after gardening one afternoon. At 74, she wasn't concerned when it was still there weeks later. Skin gets more fragile with age, she reasoned. When the wound became infected 3 months later, her doctor discovered she had undiagnosed diabetes that had been preventing proper healing. During treatment, they also found several precancerous skin lesions that Charlotte had dismissed as age spots. The doctor explained that checking her skin regularly could have caught these issues months earlier, when treatment would have been simpler. Our skin is literally our body's largest organ, and it offers visible clues to our internal health. Wounds that take more than 4 weeks to heal could indicate diabetes, circulation problems, or immune system issues. New growths, changing moles, or persistent rashes might signal skin cancers or other systemic conditions. The danger is that these changes often occur in places we don't regularly examine, between toes, on our back, or on the scalp. And because they're usually painless at first, they're easy to ignore until they become serious problems. For diabetics, even minor foot wounds can lead to serious complications if not treated promptly. And skin cancers, when caught early, are often completely curable with simple procedures. When was the last time you thoroughly examined your skin, including areas you can't easily see? Do you have any wounds that have been present for more than a month without significant healing? Warning sign number 7. Persistent digestive changes or unexplained pain lasting more than 2 weeks. David, my cousin who recently turned 70, had always prided himself on his iron stomach. When he began experiencing occasional heartburn after meals, he simply started taking over-the-counter antacids. Just part of aging, he told his wife. For nearly a year he managed his symptoms this way, never mentioning them to his doctor. During a routine physical, David casually mentioned his increasing reliance on antacids. His doctor immediately ordered tests that revealed Barrett's esophagus, a precancerous condition that, if left untreated, often leads to esophageal cancer, one of the deadliest cancers because it's typically caught late. Our digestive system often provides early warning signs of serious conditions. Changes like persistent heartburn, difficulty swallowing, constipation, diarrhea, or unexplained nausea could signal anything from GERD to colon cancer. Similarly, unexplained pain that persists for more than 2 weeks, whether sharp or dull, constant or intermittent, deserves medical attention. What makes these symptoms particularly dangerous is how easily we dismiss them or self-treat with over-the-counter medications. This masks the underlying problem while allowing it to progress, unchecked. The reality is that 82% of seniors experience some form of chronic pain or digestive changes, but fewer than half discuss these symptoms with their doctors. Yet these symptoms can be among the earliest indicators of serious but treatable conditions. Have you noticed persistent changes in your digestion or unexplained pain that you've been managing on your own? What's stopping you from discussing these changes with your healthcare provider? We've covered 7 critical warning signs that too many seniors ignore. Unexplained weight changes, balance and coordination issues, memory changes that disrupt daily life, unusual fatigue, vision or hearing changes, slow healing wounds, and digestive changes or persistent pain. The common thread connecting these warning signs is how easily we dismiss them as just part of getting older. But there's the critical difference. Normal aging happens gradually and doesn't typically interfere with your daily functioning. Warning signs, on the other hand, represent changes that, with medical attention, could prevent serious consequences. I understand the temptation to ignore these changes. We fear loss of independence, difficult diagnoses, or becoming a burden to those we love. But I've learned firsthand that acknowledging these warning signs early is actually the best way to maintain your independence longer. Remember, aging with dignity doesn't mean ignoring your body's signals. It means having the wisdom and courage to listen when your body is trying to tell you something important. The quality of your later years depends largely on how proactively you address these warning signs when they first appear. If you recognize any of these warning signs in yourself or a loved one, don't wait. Schedule that doctor's appointment today.